Alrighty, sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties there, meaning I was an idiot and forgot to turn on my headset. So that is on me. But yes, hello. Sorry I haven't posted anything in a while. I was just on vacation with my wife and her family. I won't say where we went, but we had a good time. We were gone for about a week. We went down for Easter, week, the week of Easter. Sorry, Blech, can't talk today. And we had a good time. Got some sun. Came back, and now we've got this lovely Resident Evil 8 demo that recently just came out. After the Resident Evil showcase, I wanted to do a video about that. However, I was a little late on that one, and yeah, but I managed to play the demo in the 8-hour time window, and I was very happy with the demo. I mean, obviously, it was 30 minutes. It was very short, and I actually, funnily enough, the demo ended for me before I could get to like where it was scripted to end. I'll explain that in a little bit. But I really enjoyed it. Sorry if I sound a little distracted right now. It's because I'm trying to do something right now where I'm trying to hopefully get people to show up, but seems kind of doubtful at the moment, but that's okay. That is a-okay. But yeah, I just want to talk about the demo and the trailer that came out for said demo. I mean, the trailer that came out after the demo. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual video for it, but I do have some clips. I mean, there's some photos that I took off of the trailer, and they put out recently a new video. Or IGN. Oops, that was my phone. IGN put out a video talking about some gameplay that we saw, and very exciting. I'm very interested, very invested in the game now, obviously. But yeah, I just want to talk about the demo first off. Very interesting. So much happened in the demo. If you haven't seen or played the demo yet, I encourage you to do so. I mean, at this point, you're probably only going to be able to see, a YouTuber playing it at this point, because there's an 8-hour window to play the demo. But there is a second demo coming out, I believe, this Sunday. Might come a little bit earlier because I'm having a PlayStation 4, and they said that PlayStation users will be able to get early access to it. But it should be coming out this Sunday, where we're actually going into the castle itself, Castle Dimitrescu, or Dimitri, or Dimitrescu, or whatever her name is now. So many people are pronouncing it different ways. It's like it's causing a little bit of not, I wouldn't say turmoil, but like, oh, it's like, oh, we were supposed to pronounce it that way. Oh, okay, had no idea. But very exciting. But yeah, in the demo itself, obviously it takes place, I want to say, at this point, Ethan is, I'd say, maybe, best guess, I'd say like half an hour into like his adventure, more or less. He already has a knife, he already has a pistol, and there has been some new gameplay footage that shows him getting the knife, getting the pistol. Excuse me, lunch. and quite possibly getting the shotgun early on too. Um, I had some ideas about the shotgun. Like I kind of figured we would be getting it in the castle because it is so heavily engraved on the stock, on the receiver. I think there's even a design on the pump action at the front, and very beautiful gun. Definitely something that you would see on like a mantelpiece, mounted over somebody's fireplace. And I thought, like, we're gonna find that in the castle somewhere, but no, it looks like we might be getting it in the village somewhere, which piques my interest. It's like, wait, why would such a beautiful looking gun be found in a dingy, village? But hey, maybe it's a family heirloom. Who knows? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Um, but yeah, the demo. We'll come back to the other video later. In the demo, Ethan gets there. He meets the witch that we see in in some of the early trailers. This is her right here. Yeah, yeah. How'd you like to run into that face in the middle of the night? Ooh. And she basically warns him that they're coming again, which obviously means the werewolves. Well, lichens as they're called in game. And yeah, obviously they show up. You only fight 3 of them in the demo, and they are tanky as hell. The pistol does like virtually no damage to them. I mean, I don't know if like hit detection's working really well. I mean, it was a demo that we played, so I don't know. Maybe they're gonna go back and tweak some of the design, or modify the hitboxes of the lichens. Because even the shotgun, you get the shotgun in the demo with 1 bullet for it, 1 shell for it. And all it really does is just like knocks them off their feet. I mean, I know they're supposed to be like werewolves, but they do die to normal bullets, so technically not werewolves. Which is great because I don't think there's a whole lot of silver in this village, to be perfectly honest. So it stands to reason that these lichens are infected with a dog or wolf-like zombie virus. Technically, they are alive. They are alive because they can do things. They can run, jump, use tools, weapons. We see in one of the new trailers they can ride horses, which is so baffling to see werewolves riding horses. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, back to the demo. So we're going through this little portion of the village, and it's a shame that it's only 30 minutes and that we can't play it again, because if you beat the demo, it essentially gets locked. I mean, I think I've heard some people say like you can play the game again if you manage to beat it within the 30 minutes, but like I said, I kind of screwed up. I kind of took my time, and because I assumed, like, oh, you can play it again. No, that's not the case. It pretty much locks itself out, and a timer started for when the next demo is going to start. For anybody who has played the demo, I managed to get through the house, and I was just about to open the gate after the fire. This is for people who've played the demo. After the fire, and just as I hear Mother Miranda on the other side of the gate, someone yelling Mother Miranda on the other side of the gate, that's when the demo ended for me. And I was like, oh, damn. It says you ran out of time. I was like, oh, man, crap. And then I see like there's actually more to it after that. And I was like, oh, man, what? So I was able to catch the rest of it on YouTube. But anyway, yeah, I hope they tweaked the hitboxes for like the lichens. They're so tanky. I wasted so much ammo on them because they can pretty much dodge and roll and jump. So it's really hard to hit them. I saw somebody use the landmine that you can get in the demo, clear out a couple of them. I didn't use that. I completely forgot I had it. And then you meet Elena and her father, Leonardo, who in this picture here, you'll see them. They're on the left-hand side. That's them. That's Elena on the left-hand side. That's her father, Leonardo, the black jacket and the red scarf, who's carrying the machete. This is when you go into the house and you see other survivors. Now, something to point out right now, the woman that you see on the far right-hand side with the hood over her head, wearing the beige clothes, that is the character a lot of people suspect to be the Maiden from the Maiden demo that came out on the PS5, strictly on the PS5, because she has the same necklace on that you find in the Maiden demo, the necklace that hardly anybody, they don't know what it does. They just assume that it's her, but we don't know that. And her name is Roxanne. I had the subtitles on. It was spelled Roxana, I believe. Roxanne. But yeah, very, very interesting. And I saw some when I watched the trailer, the one that's attached to the Resident Evil demo. They play it at the end of the demo. It's they're called the fourth trailer, and I saw some like quick images that I had taken, but I wasn't going to put them up because I figured there was really no point to it. I mean, I kind of wish I did now in retrospect, but it is what it is. Where I had a theory based on the images that I took alone that Leonardo, Elena's father, was going to turn into the giant werewolf. This guy right here, the guy you see on screen. I predicted, I theorized that this guy right here in the center with the white hair, the red scarf, and the black jacket carrying the machete, I thought he was going to turn into this character here. Now, based on some new information, I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about it, which is good, which is fine, because I like that. I like that. I'm crafting theories, but I'm being proven wrong, which is okay. I'm cool with that. But anyway, back to the demo. I'll get back to that in a minute here. Based on the new information I've seen. So yeah, you meet these people, and there's a bit in the trailer where you're told to come to this woman's house for protection, and this is the house in question that you go to in the demo, which begs an interesting question. It's like, how were they able to get a radio message out? Because they seem, I wouldn't say fairly primitive. They don't have like computers or iPhones or anything like that. They seem very simplistic. Not that's a bad thing or anything in that kind of way, but it's like, wait, you guys have a radio? You guys are able to like call? I don't know if they're able to like get a message outside. Like, I don't know if they're sort of fenced in to their into their valley or wherever they're at, because I know there's like hills, and there's like it's like kind of like in a little bit of a valley, so to speak, the village is. But anyway, the character you see, Leonardo, he doesn't go through a transformation. He becomes more feral, and he knocks over a lantern, setting a fire in the house. He kills the owner of the house, who you can see. I took this picture, by the way. I edited this picture down, by the way. You see her on the right-hand side. You can see her arm and her face in the right-hand side of the screen here. Not the woman in beige. That's Roxana. This is Luisa, I believe. She's the owner of the house. And Leonardo kills her with the machete, and then he leaps onto the ceiling of the room, attacks you, attacks Roxana, rips her throat out. So I thought she was going to be the maiden, but if this is the case, if this demo is going to play out exactly in order as we've seen so far, then she's not she's not the maiden. This character we've seen in Luisa's house is not the maiden, which is kind of disappointing. But you know, again, you know, maybe she survives. Maybe she changes as well. Maybe she gets infected. Who knows? She probably dies in all likelihood because the room's on fire. Leonardo goes through so much abuse in this area because he gets shot several times by Ethan in a little scripted scene. You don't lose any ammo. I noticed when you shoot Leonardo, you know, you don't lose any bullets in the process, so that's kind of interesting. And then he attacks you. Elena shoots him twice with a double barrel shotgun, and it knocks him back into the fire, and more debris and fire fall down on him, burning him. And then later on, after Ethan and Elena, you know, are trying to escape, he comes back again, and he's calling her by her name, and he falls through the roof. And he, you know, lands in the fire again. I don't think he dies. I think he becomes this character. But I assumed he would become that character. However, there was a video that came out recently. I'm going to talk about that in a second. There was a video that came out just recently, like yesterday, I believe. That was covered in like a couple of YouTube videos covered it. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. So yeah, Ethan manages to escape. Elena dies in the fire. She falls through the roof shortly after her father does, and she, judging by where everything was in the fire, she lands on top of the pickup truck that Ethan tries to like knock down a wall with. But we don't see her body in the fire. Now it could be that, like, maybe the fire is so big we can't see her body, but her body, we can't see it. So maybe she survives. Maybe she falls through, bounces off like the roof of the truck, and she is able to escape. I mean, we don't know. Maybe she was able to get out through like a doorway or something like that. But it would be really kind of like a gut punch, so to say, if she died there and then, because she was featured heavily, very prominently in the first trailer for Resident Evil Village. I thought she was Claire at first when I first saw her. Give you guys a visual here. That's her on the far left there. That's Elena. I wish I had a better picture than that, but that's the screen cap I took from the demo trailer. But yeah, the woman on the far left-hand side there, I assumed that she was going to survive. Maybe she does. I mean, we don't know yet. We still don't know anything. She could have survived. So yeah, moving on from there, Ethan manages to make it outside. He finds the crests to open a gate that goes to Castle Dimitrescu. I'm still going to call it that, by the way, because that's what everybody else has been calling it. I'm going to call it that too, just for sake of convenience. When he opens the gate, now this is where the demo ended for me, he sees what could be Mother Miranda killing Luisa's son or husband. I couldn't really tell if he was like young or old. I couldn't get a really good look at the guy's face. He was the guy that answered the door in the trailer, in the first trailer, with a shotgun pointed at Elena's face. And he manages to get 2 shots off. Don't know if he hit her. Probably not. If he did, she's probably so heavily infected. She maybe didn't even feel it, or maybe she's like, um, Lady Dimitrescu, which I'm kind of curious about too. Like, I'll get into that in a minute about Lady Madame D, as I call her. So yeah, she kills him. Like, she stabs him like through the chest, and I guess she rips out his heart. It's very hard to see because it's at a distance. We don't get a good look at it. We don't even get a good look at her. All we just see is like a black shape killing him. And then she throws him in the side and she walks off, and Ethan just stands there like a dumbass. He's like, huh? What? Who's that? And then, now what's interesting is when she walks off in the direction we follow her, afterwards, we run into this character again. The old, well, they refer to her as an old hag, or crazy as a bag of cats, as Leonardo calls her, which she may or may not be Mother Miranda, which would be interesting because that's what they did in Resident Evil 7 with Evelyn. You see this image of a little girl, but it's actually an old woman. What if, and they said that this game might tie into Resident Evil 7. Like, maybe this is where Evelyn comes from. We don't know. We don't know yet. And so we run into her again, and she's like, death has, found them all, or something like that, or has discovered them all. It's meaning she's talking about the people in the house, which she finds hilarious. You go past her and you put the crests in, the door opens, and before you is the castle, Castle Dimitrescu. Now, where it gets interesting is there was a video put out just yesterday where they showed a ton of new footage. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on that. I want to talk about the trailer that came out. I'm going to try to remember everything that I saw in the trailer. So we see a ton of new footage. We see the ceremonial site where you see the giant statues and the pedestal, which I'm guessing you have to collect like the crests from the house, from each of the 4 houses, and put it into the pedestal there, and it opens up into God only knows what. Maybe it's a laboratory. Who knows? There's always a laboratory in a Resident Evil game. Even in Resident Evil 7, there was a laboratory kind of crammed in at the last minute. There's always a laboratory, so it would stand to reason. Maybe there's a laboratory underneath the ceremonial site. Who knows? We don't know yet. Might be an old laboratory, might be a new laboratory. We don't know. Or it could be nothing. It might not even be a laboratory. That would disappoint a lot of people, I think. But anyway, and we see Heisenberg. He's walking, he's talking, he's dragging Ethan before the other members of the household, including Mother Miranda, who we see with like black wings standing in the center of the room. And they're standing in what looks like a church of some kind, like a old abandoned church. There's like a giant hole in the ceiling. You can see sunlight streaming through. So possibly not. Excuse me. Possibly not. Underground or deep underground. Maybe they're close to the surface. Where exactly they are on the map, who knows? Because you have this map here, and I don't know. They could be in that church that's, well, no, not in the church that's in the village area, but yeah, they could be anywhere. They could be close to the ceremony site. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see about that. So yeah, he gets brought in there, and from the trailer and from like more trailers we've seen lately, um, Heisenberg wants to make a show of Ethan's death, like put on a performance for the Lycans and their servants, so to speak. Whereas Madame D, Lady Dimitrescu, she just wants to kill him and be done with it. She wants to be practical about this. She's just like, sure, let's just kill this guy and be done with it. It's like, why do we got to go through all the dramatics? But I'm guessing Mother Miranda sides with Heisenberg on this. Because Heisenberg puts on this big show. He tries to smash Ethan with his hammer. Then he gives him a 10-second head start, which Ethan wastes, by the way. He stands there looking like a dumbass. Like he like standing in front of this hole in the ground, and Heisenberg's counting down, and Ethan's like, huh? What? And then jumps down right as he hits one. It's like, Ethan, come on, man. What are you doing? You've been through a really terrible situation already, and it's like you're acting like this is your first time. The Lycans give chase. It kind of reminds me of the sequence in Until Dawn, believe it or not, where Emily, the character Emily, is chased by the Wendigo through the tunnels, through the mine shaft. Sorry, and it's like sticking its arm through, trying to grab her, and that's what it reminded me of, that sequence there. And then by the looks of it, Ethan manages to escape and gets to Castle Dimitrescu proper. And the daughters, well, he also meets the merchant, the Duke, who explains like the whole business to him. He's like, hey, I'm just here to make money, and sell my goods. That's it. No, nothing major like that. And then he gets into the castle and he meets the daughters. The daughters who quickly capture him and bring him before Lady Dimitrescu, who, let's see here, which would be this scene right here that we see in the trailer. Now, he's being held up by something. I assume he's being held up by a chain, maybe, or one of the daughters. Sorry about that. My headset just shut off for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it looks like, in that scene, he's being held up by a chain, or maybe one of the daughters is holding him up. Although I think hidden behind her hat is the third daughter. So I don't know what Ethan, like how they have Ethan in that scenario there. But they do the scene where they cut his hand and Lady Dimitrescu sucks his blood. And what's interesting is she says, going a bit stale. So does that mean Ethan still has the mold virus in his system? Is that what Lady Dimitrescu is tasting? Is she tasting the mold virus? Because she has a look of disgust on her face, like, ooh, oh my god, like, ooh, what is this? And then I guess maybe they hang him up on the hook, because they do a scene where they're leaving and they'll like come back to him later on, and they leave the room, so obviously he gets free and starts roaming the castle. Also in that meeting, I'm going to show you right here. I took a picture of it. It's not a great picture, but I call this the Legion of Doom. This is the area I was talking about where Heisenberg wants to make a show of everything. See here on the right, you have Heisenberg with his hammer. On the far left, you have Lady Dimitrescu behind the chair. You can see her with her back to you. In the far background there, you have House Benevito, if I'm saying that correctly. And I'm going to get on that in a second here. And then, of course, right there in the middle, you have Mother Miranda, who, for all intents and purposes, she looks like a normal person. But that may or may not be the case. As we saw in Resident Evil 4, we assumed Osmond Sadler was a normal guy, and then he turns into this big spider, like creation, creature thing. And we do know that blanked on the name there for a second. Mother Miranda's motif is crows, as you can see evidenced by the crow wings out of her back. So what I'm thinking is, got a comment. Short girl shorts. Hello. So where was I? Lost my train of thought there for a second. So what I'm thinking is maybe her final form is like a giant winged creature. I think that's what Mother Miranda's final form is going to be, if her crow motif is anything to go by. And we do know that Ethan gets a sniper rifle in the game. Like maybe he'll have to snipe her out of the sky or something like that. That would be interesting. I'm still very curious about what Mother Miranda, Lady Dimitrescu's final form is, like, because we see this scene in the Maiden demo. This is like the very final part of the Maiden demo, when she spears the character through the head with her claws. Very curious to see like what her final form is going to be. Probably something bigger. But another thing that I wanted to talk real quick. This is one of the characters of House of Benevito. I'm going to explain why I say one of them. This right here, this little doll. Now, we don't know the name of the doll yet. I'm sure someone has probably found it or something. But the doll is moves and acts like a person. And it's very, very interesting. As you can see on the right-hand side there's Heisenberg, and on the left there's Madame D. And in the far background, I don't know if you can see it very well, between Lady Dimitrescu and the doll, you can see the puppet master, who I'm guessing is the actual head of the House of Benevito. And the doll runs back to the master, and the master like picks it up and sits it on her lap. Very, very interesting. I wonder what the doll's significance is going to be. Like, are we going to be like, is the doll going to be like looking around for us, and if it finds us, it alerts us to it alerts the puppet master to Ethan's presence? We don't know yet. That'd be very, very interesting. You have to avoid this doll, this little knee-high, porcelain, figure. Very, very interesting. I want to see how that plays out. I don't have a picture of the House of Moreau guy. There's a great picture that you can find if you pause the trailer just right. You can get a good look at this guy. He looks like a fish creature, and he's very, very disgusting. But he doesn't talk, which is interesting. He kind of makes like these grunting noises, and I mean, as far as I can tell, he doesn't say anything. So I wonder like how he communicates with the other heads of the household. If at all, I mean, he might not be able to talk at all. That's very, very interesting. You can kind of see him here in this picture. He's behind Heisenberg's hammer right there in this picture. He's pretty obscured, but there's a better picture of him out there. There is, and he's wearing like a jacket and pants. Very, very interesting. I want to know, like, is he going to be like the final boss fight in his area, or is he going to be, is he going to turn into the giant fish creature that we see both in the trailer and on the map. Excuse me 1 second here. This map here, right here in Moreau's Reservoir, is he going to turn into that creature? We don't know yet. He very well could turn into that creature. But I'd be very interested to see, like, I imagine like that sniper rifle that Ethan gets is going to come into play for him there. Maybe, perhaps. What else did I want to talk about? Talked about, yes. At the very end of the trailer that we see for the demo, Ethan gets confronted by Chris and one of Chris's soldiers. Now this picture I have here, I managed to like time this just right. It's a little hard to see. The little scrolling icon was not very forgiving. But what I found very, very interesting is, what I found very, very interesting about this guy is if you look at the guy's chest, you can see a badge, a blue and white badge on his chest rig. And it looks like a werewolf. It looks like the head of a werewolf. Now, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of speculation that Chris might be a werewolf or a Lycan in this game. But obviously we see him in the trailer. He's not dressed for combat, which is interesting to me. Like, Chris is not dressed for combat. Like, he's wearing like a trench coat with like a black turtleneck, and he's dressed more like a villain, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. And also something to note about this guy right here. I don't know what the deal is. His shoulders, in particular, his right, our left shoulder, has a patch of fur on it. Now, there are such things in the military as ghillie suits, where it's like leaves and plants and vines are constructed onto a suit, and that's worn by snipers or special forces team members to go through different areas. And there are different ghillie suits. There's like ghillie suits for the jungle, ghillie suits desert. But this guy has fur, what looks like fur on his shoulder. Very, very interesting. And he's obviously wearing a night vision goggles. That's what he has on his head right now. The four lenses right there. I've actually looked up like those kind of night vision goggles, not those ones in particular, but those kind. They cost about $40,000. They're really expensive night vision goggles, and this guy has them on his head, activated in the daytime, which is really interesting. And it looks like, by the looks of it, I mean, this might be because of the low lighting, he has desert camo magazine pouches on his chest, but he's wearing dark blue uniform. You can see like the sleeve in the middle of the picture there, and he's wearing a black balaclava, the hoodie, the hood over his head, and a helmet to support the night vision goggles. It's really kind of a mishmash of different colors. Like, you have the blue, you have the beige, the desert camo pouches, and you have the fur, and you have like the beige night vision goggles that he's wearing in the daytime. Yeah, it's very interesting. And are we going to see more of Chris's guys here, or is it just going to be this guy and Chris? Now, something interestingly I thought of when I first saw this trailer, I watched it a couple of times since then, and I think I might be wrong about this. I thought this soldier, was a woman, because his voice was kind of like higher pitched than a man's. I thought it might be a woman. but after listening to it a couple of more times, it's not a woman. It's definitely a man's voice. I don't know why. For a brief minute, I thought it was actually going to be Jill Valentine underneath that helmet. I mean, hey, who knows, you know? But yeah, which is kind of sad because Chris and Jill, they haven't worked together since what was it, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, I believe, where they took down Umbrella together. I mean, if you want to count Resident Evil 5, sure, towards the end there when Chris frees her for her, mind control, sure, maybe if you want to count that. Or it might be a completely new character. Hell, it might be even Leon. We don't know. That'd be interesting. But what interests me is the patch. The patch, you can see it's kind of in shadow a little bit, or no, that's a strap. That's like a gun strap or a gun sling. But it's a blue patch with a white wolf's head on it. And I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, the whole thing about Chris being a werewolf, that's a red herring. But I don't know. Like we have a white patch of a wolf's head on there, and we have a soldier with fur, like animal fur, on his shoulders, which seems kind of weird. Excuse me one second. Oh, my throat's going dry. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, very interesting to see. And yeah, we've seen some new footage. I talked briefly about it with wet my whistle a little bit. We saw a little bit of it with like the meeting with like the different heads. We saw like gameplay footage of Ethan in the castle, being stalked by Lady Dimitrescu, who, as it seems like I was debating whether or not if we're gonna like encounter her is in a free roam setting, like is she gonna be like a Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 remake, or is she gonna be more like Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 remake, where he's scripted, like he's always at the same spot no matter how many times you play the game. He's always in the same spot, whereas Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake, like he pops up at random and he'll chase you through like different sections of the police station. But it seems like she'll be like, you can run across her like at certain points of the game. Like there's a scene in the trailer, I'm sorry, in this new gameplay trailer, where she's berating one of her daughters, Cassandra. I had some notes about Cassandra, but I think I don't have them up right now. I think Cassandra is probably like, she's a sadist, but she's not the craziest one of the three, because there's three daughters. There's Bella, who's the most level-headed of the three daughters. She's also quiet and headstrong. And there's Cassandra, who's a sadist, who enjoys killing. And then, of course, there is Daniela, who is, quote, crazy and the most delusional of the three daughters. Wow. Okay. And I think she's the daughter we see the most of in the trailer. I think she's the daughter who stabs Ethan in the leg with the scythe and says man blood. I think that's her. I would imagine so. And they're going to be free roaming as well. They'll, catch up to Ethan. There was a bit we saw just before the demo came out, actually, where we see like an extended scene of the phone call with Mother Miranda, where Lady Dimitrescu picks up her table, her makeup table, and she throws it across the room, and then she like stalks out of the room, and she's like, the hell with the ceremony, and she's gunning hard for Ethan at that point. And I think this is my theory here. I think in that scene with, let me go back to this one right here. I think at that point, Ethan has killed one or two of her daughters at that point, or maybe all three, because she is pissed at Ethan. Like, she is furious at Ethan. I mean, she's not like totally off the rails, gunning for his blood, psychopath yet, but she's definitely anger. She's definitely angry at Ethan. So I'm theorizing at that point when she's making the phone call to Mother Miranda and she throws her makeup table across the room. I think at that point Ethan has killed one, maybe even two of the daughters. At that point, because she says he has proven too much for my daughters to handle. So yeah, and they have confirmed that the daughters are going to be like mini bosses, and they share a common weakness, and but the scenarios you find them in will be different. Like all three will be different. So very curious to see how that plays out. Because judging by how it looks in the trailer, like Ethan tries to fight them, like he shoots them with his handgun, his shotgun. It doesn't really seem to be doing anything. So maybe Ethan can, slow them down. I wouldn't say incapacitate them, but I would definitely say he can hurt them, like he can cause them to pause for like a moment, like you can with Mr. X or Nemesis, for instance. You can like temporarily disable the daughters, or maybe put them down for like, buy yourself a couple of minutes or a couple seconds, to get away from them, like you could with Mr. X and Nemesis. Mr. X, I know from experience, you could put him down for like 30 seconds with like a grenade, or if you do enough damage to him, you can put him down for like 30 seconds. And I don't remember how long it would be with Nemesis, but I imagine it's like roughly the same amount of time, maybe a little bit less. But maybe you can do the same thing with the daughters. Now, what I'm wondering is, can we do the same thing to Lady Dimitrescu? Can we actually hurt her? Can we shoot her with like our guns? Can we, put down a mine in her path? That would be hilarious. Can we actually do anything to her? Because in the trailers they show, like, you have this character and he's like, whoever's playing this character is like running backwards away from her, but he's not shooting at her. So I don't know if she can like tank the bullets, or if she can't be hurt at all. Because one of the theories I have about Lady Dimitrescu is, when she does her little claw thing right here, when she does this, it's a forced mutation, and she can do it at will. In the gameplay footage we see when she comes to a doorway, she extends her claws and she starts moving towards Ethan, which says to me that she can control her claws. She can make them pop out, at will. So, who do we got here? JJ Cheeker, hello. Yeah, I'm talking about the demo and the gameplay footage that we've seen so far. There's a 30-minute video of like all new footage, and I think it's like filmed in sequence to the game, like to the start of the game to when you get to the village, but they're taking out large chunks of the video. But it's still very easy to piece together what happens and where. I think one of the first mini boss fights you have is with this giant werewolf guy. Like, I think this is early on. This fight right here is kind of early on, and for the most part, it looks like your character is like, avoiding him and his lichens. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that this guy is actually Heisenberg. This guy right here. Some people are saying that these two guys are actually the same person. Personally, I don't think so. I think this guy is his own, his own person. Like, he's not Heisenberg. I seriously doubt it. I'm thinking maybe this guy is probably more like the executioner from Resident Evil 5, who had the giant axe slash hammer combo thing that you fight in the early part of Resident Evil 5, in the little village area in Resident Evil 5. I think that's what this guy is. I think he's like his own separate thing. He's not actually like he's not actually Heisenberg. I seriously doubt it, because this is a massive mutation. If this is Heisenberg, this is like, he's really, really tall, a lot taller than Heisenberg. I mean, it could be Heisenberg too. I mean, we don't actually know, but this guy seems more feral. He seems more monstrous than Heisenberg. Heisenberg, at the very least, he's a Heisenberg. He's a calm, cool, collected individual, and I think he might be playing the long game with another comment. Yeah. Okay. Just yeah. I think he might actually be playing the long game with not Mother Miranda, Jesus, Lady Dimitrescu, because there's a picture. I thought I had it, where you're in a room with Heisenberg, and he has a picture of Lady Dimitrescu in the background, and it's got a big red X through it. So I'm thinking he does not like Lady Dimitrescu, as much as he portrays. So I'm thinking he's looking to unseat her. Maybe she's like viewed as like the favorite with Mother Miranda, or given more favor than than he is. I can't talk. Maybe Lady Dimitrescu is seen as more of the favorite than Heisenberg is, and he wants to get back in Mother Miranda's like good graces. Like, he wants to, be seen as like the favorite, maybe, and the only way he can do that is get rid of Lady Dimitrescu, and maybe he sees Ethan as his way to do it. Like, he's like, hey, this guy, he can survive a lot. Like, he's survived everything I've thrown at him. Let me see here. Another comment. Definitely looks like he has ulterior motives. Yes, absolutely. And I think there might be a bit of a I wouldn't say power struggle, but like a sort of civil war between Lady Dimitrescu and Heisenberg, at the very least. Hell, maybe they'll fight each other at some point. Who knows? We don't know. It'd be very, very interesting to see. I'm still curious about like what the final battle between Ethan and Mother Miranda is going to be. I still think she's going to turn into a giant bird, a giant crow, and Ethan's going to have to like sniper with like his sniper rifle at some point. That's what I think. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about? I talked about Chris's Soldier. I've talked about what I saw in the demo. Still a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of speculation, but people are still wondering like what the connection between you got the houses, like you got the Umbrella logo right there in the center, and like it does look kind of different because you got this one here, and then you got this Umbrella logo right here. You can see that there's like a difference between the two of them, although albeit subtly. I've had some of my own theories about what if it is actually Umbrella. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is, or maybe it isn't Umbrella. One of the theories I had dated back to Resident Evil 5. There's a character in like the file, like in the notes that you find, like in the game's files, that talks about like he was the guy that created the company Tricell. Well, later on down the road, of course. But I think it could work. It could be a possible explanation to how the virus got into Romania or into a European country. This guy went to Africa. He found the flower that creates the virus in Wakanda. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And a little similar, don't you think? But no, I'm kidding. And he finds this flower, among other things. Like, he's documenting everything down. He comes back to Europe, and he writes a book about like everything he discovered. He's quickly discredited by his peers, and most notably, it's rumored that his brother tries to discredit him so that they can capitalize on all of the discoveries there in Africa. Now, if that is true, got a comment here. If that is true, what is the connection with Mother Miranda? Because this guy was around during like the 18th century, and Umbrella isn't founded until like the 1960s, I believe. And Mother Miranda, Jesus, Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters have been vampires at least up until 1958, which is the note we find in the Maiden demo. That talks about, they've been like that since at least 1958. So what if Mother Miranda has some connection to this guy, this Trevor guy, who founded, well, his brother founded Tricell, who's the evil corporation from Resident Evil 5. What if there's some connection there? Like, Mother Miranda is somebody, like a distant descendant of this guy who discovered it, and maybe she wants to, rightfully claim what is hers or her family's. We still know nothing about her, other than she's worshipped as a cult-like figure. But then again, I could be, I could be totally wrong here. There might not even be a connection to Resident Evil 5 here at all, which is understandable. I mean, they really don't mention much about Resident Evil 5 anymore from what we've seen so far. Oh, excuse me, just burped. But yeah, we haven't really seen anything from that. It seems to be focusing more around, like, it's doing its own thing, but like sorry again, my headset keeps turning off. Probably like times out at certain points. But it's very, very interesting. If there's like any connection, because okay, this has been portrayed as rumors so far. They're saying that this game, Resident Evil 8, is part of a trilogy. Resident Evil 7 is the first part of the trilogy. Resident Evil 8 is the middle part, and then Resident Evil 9 is going to be the final mark of the trilogy in this saga. So, another comment. I'm very excited for this. Me too. But yeah, they're saying that Resident Evil 9 is going to be like the next installment in this trilogy. But again, this is a rumor. It hasn't been actually confirmed yet. Be very, very interested to see like what would be the continuation of like this story. Like, are we going to see Ethan again? Are we going to play as his daughter grown up like years from now? Yeah, we don't know anything yet, because Resident Evil 9, as of this moment, is like in development. They started development for Resident Evil 9 like about I would say a month ago at this point. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else. I'm racking my brain trying to think here. Saw some new weapons in like the gameplay footage. We got like the handgun, the shotgun. There's going to be more than one shotgun. There's going to be the pump action shotgun. Then there's going to be what looks like a sawed off shotgun, which is it still looks like a pump action, but it doesn't have a stock for it. There's also going to be a semi-automatic shotgun too, which looks pretty cool. But these are icons that are shown in the Duke's store. Did they start 4 remake yet? I have not heard anything about that. The only thing related to Resident Evil 4 so far I've heard is the VR game. They announced that during the Resident Evil showcase a week or so ago, and yeah, they hadn't. I haven't seen anything else. They did put out a new trailer for it for the Resident Evil 4 demo. I mean, not demo, the Resident Evil 4 VR. I hope they add a little more enemy variety than they did in 7. Yeah, because they actually showed during the Mercenaries game mode that's going to be included with this game. They show like a bunch of different looking enemies that you fight in the Mercenaries mode. Some of them look like they have like drill arms or something like that. I thought I heard something like that. I'll have to check out that video again. But it looks like there's some different enemy variety types in there. Also, there's some flying enemies that we see in the game at Castle Dimitrescu. It kind of look like the ghouls that we see in like the latest trailer, except they can fly. What's this? Nice, yeah. But yeah, so it definitely looks like they do have some variety. Like they've got the Lycans, they've got the vampire daughters, they've got the ghouls, which also looks like they suck blood for some reason. Then you got like the flying creatures, and then God only knows what is at House Moreau and House Benevito. God only knows. I have some new theories about like what we saw on that map. If you look in the upper left-hand corner there, House Benevito, you see what looks like a praying mantis / Grim Reaper holding a scythe. Well, now we know that House Benevito's, the head of House Benevito's trick or gimmick is Puppet and Puppet Master, as you can see. Hold on, I'll bring up the image here. Here is their gimmick is Puppet and Puppet Master. So what I'm thinking is that excuse me, that creature, that thing, that statue-like thing we see in the upper left-hand corner, that thing is going to come to life at some point. Inquisitor Mathis, hello there. I think that thing is going to come to life at some point, and the Puppet Master, who we see here in the background, sitting down, like you can see her in between Lady Dimitrescu's dress and the puppet's dress. We see her sitting down, and she's wearing like a black cloak. And but now that we know that's what her gimmick is, I think that creature that statue-like thing is going to come to life at some point and attack us. Creepy doll. Oh yes, and it talks. It talks. It is creepy as hell. I wish I had a clip for it. Maybe if I do like another video soon, I'll get like a little like audio clip of it, like a little video clip of it. Because it's kind of like this bubbly personality, like she's like, oh, he's awake, it's like, ooh, that's creepy. But yeah, very, very interesting. I think that creature's going to come to, that statue is going to come to life, and it's gonna, well, I wonder how Ethan's going to take down a giant statue. Like maybe he has to like target like specific points of the statue and bring it down. It'd be very, very interesting to see. I think that's it. I've been talking for like about an hour now, an hour straight, and I've run out of water and I have to go get water. So I think I'm probably going to end it here. My voice is getting a little scratchy right now. But yeah, I just wanted to do like a discussion where I talked about like the different things I saw in the demo. One of my big concerns about the demo, I don't know if anyone here is it like the fungi, Inquisitor Math, is it like the fungi from RE7, or is it actually supernatural? That is something people have wondered about, because they asked Capcom directly, and they said, hey, what's the deal with vampires and werewolves? Like, how does that fit into zombie lore? How does that fit into like a world filled with zombies and biological weapons? Like, how does that fit? And Capcom's like, hey, don't worry, we'll explain it. We'll explain how this fits within the lore. Now you got a person that's controlling dolls, in particular this frickin' doll. So it's like, okay, how are you going to explain how a virus that you inject in your body is making you control a doll with no strings attached to it either? It's like, how are you going to explain this? But I'm very curious to see how they explain it. I'm sure it's going to be like some bullshit reason. Like maybe there's like living tissue inside that doll. Who knows? And that would explain it. Like that would be very, very creepy. Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, well, yeah, the demo. I hope what we saw in the demo, if anybody has watched like gameplay footage of the demo, oh, another comment. Unless it is robots. I mean, that could be it too. I mean, specifically for the doll anyway. Like some type of mind control or something like that, or like, I don't know. Who knows? But a lot of people die in the demo. Like we see them right here, this picture. You got Elena on the left, her father Leonardo, this guy who I'm gonna call Tiny Tim. He's got a crutch. Leave me alone. You got Roxana here, and then you got Luisa on the far right with her. All you can see is her arm and her face on the right hand side here. They all die in the demo. Like every single one of them dies in the demo. Now I'm guessing that Elena, maybe she doesn't die. Maybe she survives. Like it would be some kind of fake out bullshit death thing. If God, my voice is going. It would be some fake out bullshit death thing if like she fell and she bounced off something and she managed to like get out of this burning building. But it would be really disappointing, like if they just killed them off. I mean, from a story element, I would understand it, because it's supposed to be Ethan's story. Ethan's by himself. Comment. They dying in the demo might be Capcom doing a prank. They did it on the RE7 demo. I don't remember the RE7 demo very vividly. I mean, probably I'll have to go back and like look at footage of that. But if it is to be believed, if what we saw in this demo is to be believed, they die very early on. If that's the case, I mean, I think Leonardo, the guy with the black jacket and the red scarf, the white hair, I think he comes back. Like, I think we're gonna have to fight him later on, because he gets burned. He gets shot twice with a double barrel shotgun. He gets burned again, and he was still alive through all that. And it's like, yeah, I think he might be coming back. Like he's a stubborn old bastard. I think he's gonna be coming back. I think Elena might be coming back too. The girl on the left there. It would be interesting to see. Maybe she becomes a new daughter to Lady Dimitrescu, and Ethan has to put her down. That would be heartbreaking for Ethan, because he just met this girl, and she was nice, she was kind to him, she was supportive of him. She was telling him like, "Hey, I hope you find your daughter." That would be devastating to Ethan if he had to kill her, and she was like one of Dimitrescu's daughters, her new daughters, like a fourth daughter. That would be devastating for Ethan. That would be great. I mean, from like a story element wise, like that would be like such a huge character development moment for Ethan. Like he has to kill somebody that he just met and was kind to. And he tried to save this person too. That would be heartbreaking. Be very, very interesting. Another new comment. If they die early on, it really isn't good for the plot, because you need to give the player enough time to care about them. That would be a crazy twist. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Elaine might survive. The one on the left, she might survive. That's what I think, because they show everybody else dying. They show Louisa on the right. She gets speared through the chest with a machete. Roxana, she gets her throat bitten out. We don't see what happened to the guy with crutches, but I think he gets like his chest ripped open. There's like a fat alcoholic guy who's like cussing everybody out. He's like, hey, F you, shut the F up, you. I wouldn't be surprised if she's still alive. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like Elena, I think she might be coming back, because they showed her so much in the first Resident Evil Village trailer, the reveal trailer. They showed her in it. And another thing that was interesting that that would be interesting to see. I think it's either Elena or the character Roxanne, the one that's wearing all beige with the hood over her head. One of them is holding a baby, which might be Ethan's baby. So I'm wondering if it might be changed. It might be Elena holding the baby, or it might be Roxanne holding the baby. But I definitely could see like Elena surviving, because I said this earlier at the beginning of the stream. We don't see Elena's body when she falls. If you've seen the demo video, she falls and then we don't see her body again. So, and Ethan presumes that she's dead. I think like maybe she like bounced off like the roof of the truck, and she ended up somewhere. Like she managed to get out of that burning house, and she hooks up with Ethan later on. I stated that maybe it would be good, I understandable from a storytelling element, because it's supposed to be Ethan by himself in this story. The only human person. I mean, he meets like other human people, but they're enemies, to him essentially. So it would be interesting to see, what they do exactly. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this here. My throat's starting to go. I need to get some water. I need to get hydrated here. But yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by. Short Girl with Shorts, thank you for stopping by. Inquisitor Mathis, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. JJ Cheeker, again, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, and I hope to make another video soon, talking about more elements of the game. I think if the next video I put out, I'm gonna put it out after the castle demo comes out. After I play the castle demo, I have to check and see when that demo is coming out, because when I tried to play the village demo again, it says, "Hey, get ready for the next demo," and it started a countdown for the next demo. So I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna do a video on that. They will have both demos come out, for village and for castle. You can play them both at the same time. However, I think I'm just going to do the castle demo next, and then just skip the 60-minute one, because I've already played the village demo. So I'm just gonna do the castle one, and then I'm gonna and then I'll try to do like a video on it the next day, and talk about it. It probably won't be as long as this, but we'll see. And then, 2 more weeks tomorrow, Resident Evil 7's coming out, and I've already got it pre-ordered. I've already got it, ready to download to my PlayStation, and I'm gonna be playing that shit at midnight. But yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by. And yeah, next time I put up a video, it'll be after the castle demo. And I hope to see you guys there. Yeah, and I'll just be so excited to talk about it. I hope we get chased by Lady Dimitrescu. It's just going to be like 30 minutes of me getting killed by her over and over and over again. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you so much again for stopping by. Have a good one, you guys.